So we just hit 20K on Instagram. We ended up doing a giveaway to celebrate with Noble Protein.
Yeah.
Believes in supplementing your body with clean ingredients.
Yeah, they have beef organs.
Beef organs,
Yes.
right? So to celebrate 20K, we actually ran a giveaway, as you know. We asked our followers to comment one thing they do to stay focused.
Yeah.
So I wanted
It was
to go
really
through,
cool, by the way. We got like a ton of engagement on this.
Exactly, yeah. So I wanted to go through a few of the comments to get your thoughts on these focus tips, basically.
Let's do it.
All right, our boy 5K Frank actually.
Oh, Frank.
He commented this
Shout out
one.
to Frank.
Lock myself out of social media. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I know that I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I try and minimize the amount of distractions while I'm working.
Yeah.
Do you do the same?
Absolutely. I don't have notifications on for social media. I think
Really?
that's what's helpful. Like if somebody comments on something or like I get a new follower or whatever, I don't get notified of it. I only get it if I open it up. So that's worked for me. I think it's helpful. You don't need to just get the instant notification that somebody, followed you. Who cares?
Exactly. And I think that's a big point to talk about too, is the reason why, say, 5K Frank doesn't want his phone in the room is because you're itching for that dopamine. You're itching to reach for something that'll make you feel good.
Yep.
So you hear your phone ring, you hear vibration, you're like, that might be a good text.
Yeah.
It could be a bad text.
That's actually a good reminder. It's like another point of this is like, if you move your phone out of the room, Huberman is actually just talking about this, where if you move your phone out of the room, it's proven that that is a huge, huge hack to being more productive and kind of helping yourself get out of that reach for my phone, because it's just literally not there.
Exactly.
Right? It'll feel a little weird because you feel, usually attached to your phone.
Right.
But put it in the other room, try it.
Exactly.
It's worked for me.
That's also worked for me too. Let's see what else everyone's got. Amy commented meditation and rituals for focusing and attention. Now this is something that I'm trying to be better at, is incorporating meditation in my day.
Yeah.
But I do know that when I do it, I feel a lot better.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of like the gym for the brain. If Graymatter is your nutrients for your brain, meditation is what you do to actually build that focus muscle,
Right.
That calm muscle. The cool thing about it is that it is scientifically proven to physiologically change the anatomy of your mind. So for example, if you have lots of anxiety, you very likely have a enlarged amygdala. That's the fear center in your brain. It's proven that if you meditate, it can actually shrink that, right? So it's the harder thing to do, but if you actually do it, it results in the long-term fix that a lot of people are looking for. We live in this world where, it's like pop a prescription stimulant or have another coffee, right? Take a Xanax if you've got a lot of anxiety. And maybe it can kind of work, but it doesn't actually get you what you really want, which is to kind of show up in a different way consistently. The only real way to do that, like most things in life, is to go through the hard work to get there, and that's what meditation is.
Exactly.
Now, it's hard, trust me, it's really hard. We partner with an app called The Way to give free access to any subscriber. So once you subscribe, you get free access to The Way. And what I like about it is that it's just one path, and it's one teacher that's awesome. His name's Henry Shookman. And it helps you just stay on course with it. And the other important thing is that it's scientifically proven by the University of Wisconsin, professors there that study this, that you only need 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day.
5 minutes.
Like really, 5 minutes a day. And listen, it has nothing to do with me if you do or don't meditate. I love Amy for saying that because I'm on board with it. I just have had such a big positive impact on my life that I love promoting it, and really one of the things I'm most proud of about Graymatter is that we give access to The Way, and we've helped create thousands of meditators.
Yeah, and I love all that because in my own opinion too, it's doing the hard things in life that will prepare you for...
What's the saying? It's like, do the hard things, easy life, avoid the hard things, hard life?
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. And what I'm getting to with meditation is, it seems like something that is so easy, right? Like you said, 5 minutes a day to what? Sit there and think about nothing? But you sit down for 5 minutes and all of a sudden, you feel like you can't do it. It's like that trend we were doing on social media where people were basically
raw dogging
their boredom. They were sitting down and staring at a screen for however long they could.
Yeah.
At the end of it, that is essentially what meditation is. It's forcing yourself to sit alone with your thoughts and, like you were saying, to be able to observe them.
Yeah.
I think that's the important part, is to have the mental strength to be able to observe your own thoughts and not let them get to you.
Yep.
And that's honestly why Graymatter has been such a game changer in my life, is because it's not like it's cleared any of my negative thoughts or my anxious thoughts. It's those are all still there. My ability to control them
Yeah.
and not let it get to me.
Yeah.
In supplementation with meditation has been a game changer. So I really love that comment about meditating, using it for a focus ritual, because people think, oh, sit down for 5 minutes and think about nothing to help me focus.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot harder than you think.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to Amy and download the way.
a big one that we got that I also use are setting timers, time blocking. I know for me personally, I manage 2 or 3 clients, social media wise, and so I have to break
You
up
don't
my
just
day.
work on Graymatter?
Sorry, not yet. Let me know. So I have to structure my day so that I'm 100% showing up for each client in the time that I'm doing that. With 3 clients and working in social media, I mean, social media is happening 24/7. So the best way that I can kind of tackle that is to time block. I'll time block a 2.5 hour, say, work session.
Yeah.
Then I'll give myself 30 minutes, an hour to go eat, take a walk, move.
Yeah.
I know that's been helpful for me. Let's talk about that a little bit. What do you think that is when you're time blocking, when you're setting a time limit for yourself to do one thing and finish it?
Yeah.
And I think I think that's what it is for me, is setting a time and then saying, I'm gonna finish it in that time.
Yeah, and then you should also like turn off your notifications from other things, put your phone in another room, right? That's what helps me. If I have a time block, but I'm still getting like pinged by all these other directions, it doesn't really matter, right? So you want to like obviously have the time in your calendar just for what you want to do. Like for example, your calendar doesn't need to just be for meetings, right?
Exactly.
You put like, okay, this is what I'm going to do during this time. I think that's been helpful for me.
Right.
But then also shutting off all other notifications, just so I could zero in on what it is that I'm trying to do.
I like what you said there. It's that meetings don't have to all be work.
Yeah.
That's some shift that I made in my own personal calendar too. I used to just only put what I had to do for work on my calendar.
Yeah.
And then the time in between where I have time for the gym, I have time for lunch, I have time to relax, I'm not putting in the calendar. So mentally, I'm not prioritizing that.
Yeah.
I think what time blocking has done for me is to be able to prioritize what I need to do and also what I want to do, so that I'm still enjoying my day to day and not just saying, well, I just did 12 hours of work, I time blocked it all, but I didn't do anything fun. So I really love that comment about time blocking. Another common one, I think we all do this, I know I do this myself, simply a to-do list. How I do it is I structure my to-do list in 3 separate categories. What I need to do today, what I would like to do today if I have the time. If not today, then I can save that for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the way I structure it is I get all my need to do's done.
Yeah.
Say there's 5 need to do's, 3 maybes. If I get through all 5, then the 3 maybes, those are extra wins.
Yep.
That's helped me so much to just look at a list of things that I need to do physically and check it off.
Feel less overwhelmed.
Less overwhelmed for me.
Because most people have a million things to do, or at least they feel that way, right? Especially if you're a parent, right, and working, you have kids. From a work standpoint, or I guess just the entire to-do list, you're right. If you put the main ones first, knock the main ones out first, the rest of your day, doesn't have to feel as if you're kind of running in quicksand.
Right,
You've
exactly.
actually gotten some things done.
Yeah, and I think the problem with to-do lists that I first encountered, which a lot of people might feel, is, yeah, I'll write everything down, but then now I'm just looking at a list of things that I need to do, and it overwhelms you, right? Separating it between things that I have time to do today, I know I can do, and then things that I might not get to today, but that's okay, is what works best for me.
So I link all of my work materials, some of my personal stuff into Claude. Claude every day looks at Slack, looks at my email, looks at my calendar, and generates what's important for me and puts it in a list, and then processes every day at 5, 6 a.m. and it sends a notification to my phone. And so in the morning I can look at it and see like, all right, what do I need to do?
Right.
So like those tools are available today. Hey, nothing against like the old handwritten list.
Right.
But like if you want to get more technological about it, you can do so.
Staying focused by making sure to eat and exercise. The big thing here for me is exercise. Movement has helped so much for my focus.
You're a bodybuilder.
And I'm a bodybuilder, right.
Jamie's ripped. Jamie's ripped, dude.
That has always been just a staple in my life. Fitness, health, exercise, movement.
Yeah.
But when I started to hear about movement for focus, I couldn't really get the connect there. I'm like, well, I used to crack open an energy drink. I used to just try and stim out and sit on my laptop, stare at a screen. I'm like, I don't want to get up and go for a walk. Like that's taking away time to work.
Yeah.
but blood flow is a thing.
Yeah.
Movement is a thing. If I'm sitting down for 12 hours straight and I haven't moved my body, my body's getting the signal that something's wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Your body's not acting the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So breaking up your day with movement, I like to go to the gym in the middle of my day between work sessions.
Me too.
And that helps me, one, reset, two, feel refreshed after doing a hard thing. Physically, your body's just said, you just sat for 3 hours, then you went and deadlifted. So you did a hard thing. Now I'm getting that dopamine.
Yeah.
And that now it feels
norepinephrine.
Exactly.
Like that's the point. Is like there's a scientific physiological change in your brain from moving your body. So I think probably what they're getting at is like it helps kind of clear away that fogginess, at least for me. And so movement, especially to start your day too, it, can get you in the right mindset to be able to focus, after you've gotten some exercise done.
Exactly.
Yep.
Rebecca commented that she likes to focus to go to a different space, like a coffee shop or something. I work from home.
Yep, me too.
So it's the same environment 24/7, but I ensure that I have an office, like a working space, so that I associate that with work.
Yep.
I think environment is a huge factor.
There's something about being in a coffee shop around other people, or place around other people, dropping in some headphones, turning on some music, and that actually helps me lock in better than if I'm just alone, like at my house or somewhere else. I don't know what it is.
You know what I think it is? I think it's real. It's you are who you surround yourself.
Yeah, and everyone else is working, right?
So
So it's like, I got to do this too.
Right. If you're at home alone, I mean, for me, I'm sitting next to my cats, right? They're sleeping. And so like I have my Graymatter, I'm focused, I'm dialed, and that can only do so much at a certain point. I think we were talking about it earlier with meetings and Zoom meetings and why it feels just different than an in-person meetings because like you are alone most of the time. Like, I'm looking up from a screen and then it's just me. We were just having a conversation about what we did this weekend.
It's like
the phone calls hit, the call ends and I'm like, well, that was nice. There's no banter after that anymore.
Right. I think it's just like finding what works for you. Coffee shop might be too stimulating for people, but for me, I kind of like that as long as I can drop some music in my ears and just really get to what I got to do. Maybe that's not right. Maybe you are better at home, but it's just finding different spaces and testing and seeing, where do you feel more comfortable? Where do you get most of the work done?
So Brendan commented, throwing on some, I don't know who this person is, throwing some macro blank on the speakers and locking in.
Macro blink is what
throwing
you said?
on,
I've never
throwing
heard of that.
some macro blank on
We
the
should try
speakers.
that.
We should.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that, but I know sometimes I get distracted by music.
I don't.
do you
I feel like
feel?
I need it.
You need sound?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's a specific kind. Like usually music that doesn't have a ton of words. Sometimes with words, but like
Instrumentals?
like some sort of like focus house music, like a Ben Bomer I listen to a lot.
I actually love Ben Bowman. That is
yeah.
actually a really good focus playlist.
Yeah, I used to have this coworker that created a playlist that was one song, and it just said "Crushing on Repeat" was the name of the playlist. But it was like very fast beats per minute, and he would put it in and just repeat the same song over and over when he wanted to like really lock in.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dane.
There you go.
But yeah, I think music can definitely have an impact, and it seems like it does for what's his name?
Brendan.
Seems like it does for Brendan. Definitely does for me. I think that's probably going to be a common one.
Yeah. And I like what you said about not too many words. Like I like instrumentals. When I put on music, I like instrumentals. For me, like I grew up singing in choirs. I did musicals and all that. So it's like classical music that I like to put on, like just piano or guitar. Something that stimulates the mind enough to know that I'm not just sitting in a room alone.
And it's scientific, right? So specifically for people with ADHD, there's something called pink noise that is supposed to literally help the brain's neurochemistry improve the ability to focus. I don't know, some scientific stuff.
So it's really cool. Like
That's awesome.
Music is really cool. There's more to that, but I love it. So Jalissa, the Health Bay, commented, I have literally dance breaks. I have upbeat, hard-hitting music to keep me steady.
Ooh.
Every couple of hours or so, I'll dance. It resets me and prevents drifts.
Amazing. What's cool about this, and kind of random and serendipitous, is yesterday I talked to Connor Lim. He's the CEO and founder of the International Dance League. One of our investors invested in them as well. He let me know that dancing, like some sort of formal dancing, is actually only surpassed by basketball when it comes to the amount of youth that are participating in it. But that blew my mind. And so what he's created is this like professional league to kind of aspire to. And there's like these, dance competitions. Anyway, that was kind of random, but it did happen yesterday, and like I think we're actually gonna go see him in New York. But it goes back to movement, it's kind of the combination of what we had talked about. It's movement and music all at one time.
And for this individual, the health bay,
Yeah.
it's what works for her.
Right.
She found that. And so I think the message there is like, you might just have to work out in a dance.
I would love to see one of her dance breaks. Like, do you film them? Like,
Yeah,
let me
you should
see
send us some dance. We'll send you some Graymatter. Matthew commented, simply put, nootropics.
Hey,
Nootropics help him focus.
Graymatter?
Graymatter. When you say, people like to just say nootropics, right?
Yeah.
If I were to follow Matthew's advice and take nootropics to help me focus,
Yeah.
what am I actually doing?
Yeah, so it's a substance that has a physiological change on your brain. So, the easiest and most common way to kind of understand it is just thinking about coffee and caffeine. Caffeine is the most widely used nootropic. You take it, it has a physiological change in your brain that increases dopamine, that gives you more energy and has you focus. And dopamine is kind of the focus molecule. Everyone knows that, they just don't associate coffee as being a nootropic.
Right.
Now, there are all these other substances, typically from plants, right, just like coffee is, that have a similar or different but positive effect on your brain. And we're now just starting to become more aware that they're a thing and people can use them and use them to their advantage. This is what I discovered helped me. This is what helped us formulate what's now in Graymatter. We've kind of put them all into one drink and, got the best from all of them and synergistically combined them in a way that it gives you a really good, smooth, uplifting feeling. And this concept of a nootropic, really, if you take it from like a mental nourishment standpoint, this is why it's different than just caffeine alone, right? If you mentally nourish your brain, I think that's the best way to use nootropics.
Yeah.
Because over time, it's going to help you improve just the mental makeup. What they do is neuromodulate certain neurotransmitters, like move it up. That helps you with specific things that you might want to do, like a focus or your memory or your ability to have sustained attention. If you consistently do that over time, something called neurogenesis happens, which is the formation of new neurons and synapse connections. And just this concept of being able to change your mind is called neuroplasticity. So nootropics end up being like the fuel for neuroplasticity, which can enable you to change your mind for the better.
If I'm wanting to strengthen my immune system, I take vitamin C. If I want to strengthen my mental clarity, my cognitive function, nootropics, and a good source of it, Graymatter.
Yep.
So I love that. Thanks for explaining nootropics. Latasha commented, to help with focus, I stick to rigid routines and really important stuff and set timers to keep me on task and on time. So this goes back to time blocking, but what sticks out to me is rigid routines.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a rigid routine, but that's not always how life works.
Yeah, we follow this brand and are kind of friends with this brand called Cadence, and their moniker is the rhythm of daily discipline. And I like that because I think what Latasha's getting at with this rigid routine, success is usually the compounding factor of showing up consistently and putting in the inputs and putting in the work. If you have one day of a rigid routine, it might be okay, you might get some stuff done, but if you stack a whole year of that, or 6 months, or a month, or just a week, and then you look up and say, okay, where did I get from point A to point B? It's a huge, way to get ahead. So I think the rhythm of daily discipline, shout out to Cadence if you don't know them, shout out to the rigid routine for Latasha. It works.
Right.
But don't do it to a point where it's like stressing. Do it because you want to get to a better place in life.
An important thing to add too with routine is it all comes down to discipline as well. You can set a routine for yourself and you can set out your clothes the night before for the gym, plan to go on a run during your work break. But if you're not actually showing up and doing it, then the routine's not being formed. So it's also discipline too.
Totally.
Nisa, or Nisa, do you know the Pomodoro technique?
I've heard of that. I don't know what it is.
So they commented, work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break.
Yeah. I mean, if it works, do it. I think, heard that it's like a scientifically proven type of thing. It's clearly popular enough that people have heard of it. I've never tried it myself.
Yeah, neither have I.
But it does kind of makes sense to me in a way where, you know, you go in short sprints. I think that's how the human mind really is designed to work. It's like a sprint. And so long as you could block out everything else, you'll get a lot done. But then before you toggle to the next thing, you know, maybe it does help to like take a 5-minute break, kind of clear away what you just did before you get into the next one. You know, I think a lot of us find ourselves working, myself included sometimes, where I'm just getting kind of hit and I'm on defense, right? And I'm like responding to things, like hitting a ping pong ball back. Well, it kind of feels sometimes like, what did I accomplish today?
Right.
And listen, I did probably help, you know, move some things forward, but you're going to do a lot better, I think, if you just block out all the defense and go on offense. And so like having a specific time, maybe that 25 minutes when you're on offense, stopping, taking a little bit of a break, responding to those notifications, and then getting back into something of moving the ball forward.
It's like sets and reps at the gym. If I'm going 3 hours straight of working, but I'm being pulled into different directions, like you said, I might not feel like I accomplished much.
Yeah.
But if I gave myself 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there,
Yeah.
I'd allow my brain to reset,
Yeah.
kind of take a step back and look at what I
And
actually
it's like,
accomplished.
what should I do next?
Right, and
Yeah.
to be able to go into that with a clear mind and be able to make better decisions. So I like that. Let's look deeper into the Pomodoro technique.
I think you try it.
Yeah, I'll try it. And another big one, Nick, Bethany, along with Kat, all commented they take Graymatter. So we got a handful of comments saying Graymatter keeps me focused all day long. Catherine commented she's really enjoying Graymatter to stay focused at her job. She likes to sip her Graymatter in 40 ounces to stay hydrated and focused. Obviously, a lot of people are utilizing Graymatter to assist with their focus on a day-to-day basis. What was the idea behind Graymatter?
Yeah, well, I mean, I built it for myself.
Right.
You know, I've told the story a bunch, but I was a very young entrepreneur, didn't know what I was doing, and like many people, I resorted to lots of stimulants, too many coffees, and thinking that that would be the answer to kind of get me ahead. And it actually had the opposite effect. It gave me more anxiety and made me less productive.
Right.
So that just got to the point where I couldn't handle it anymore, and I was, you know, messing up at this big opportunity because I was working at a VC-backed company. I was a co-founder. There was a lot of pressure on me to succeed, and it got to a point where I thought, you know, there's got to be a better way than this.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way than this. And so I dove into how do I actually make myself smarter and more productive, or learned after a bunch of research that, you know, you can improve the physiological makeup of your brain to kind of design it and improve it through neuroplasticity to have longer periods of focus and be more productive. That just concept just kind of blew my mind. The brain is it's called plastic, right? It's just the word for it in neuroscience, but that means you can like actually change it. And so if you give yourself the right consistent inputs, you can train it, so to speak, to kind of have longer periods of productivity and focus and your ability to have sustained attention, your memory, right? Reduced anxiety. There's all of these things that you can do, just like your muscles. You know, you can train your brain in a way that improves your focus. So yeah, I mean, that's what I was after, you know, as a founder trying to get ahead. You know, I started going down this journey of how do I have a long-term impact on the quality of my mind. Nootropics and adaptogens just became such a big impact for me that I knew that I could help other people by formulating something that worked for me and giving it to others in a way that it can work for them.
Not only does it help with focus, but mental clarity.
Yeah.
I know I've talked to you about it before, but I have a lot of anxiety, and I just feel like, not that this has taken the anxiety away, but I have a better control on that anxiety. It's more importantly, the benefit that I'm really feeling is the mental clarity, is being able to handle anything that comes up into my mind, right, with the right supplementation. Because like you said, I'm a bodybuilder. I've maxed out on my pre-workouts, my proteins, my, you know,
You're already
caffeine.
jacked up.
I'm jacked up on all these things. And again, there's supplements, like I don't feel like I need them. But, you know, when I finally find something that I feel like is actually helping me, that's when I start to really believe and start to dive into it. And I'm starting to meditate more because of you know, taking Graymatter. I'm starting to think clearer. And it's not just how I think, it's what I do.
Yep.
So it's been overall, like the reviews don't lie for me, overall game changer.
It's a concept of training your mind and investing in your mind. And like you just described, it starts to show up and have this trickle effect in many, many different parts of your life. So it's really cool. What I think about and can be kind of overwhelming to me is like this impact that we're having on people, thousands of people now, and the compounding effect of that and the trickle effect that's going to have on the world because those people are just like more calm, showing up the way that they want and just better versions of themselves. It's just really, really cool to think about.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.